towards you, small heroes.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another replay recall, where we're going to be reviewing some bronze support gameplay, going over team fights, breaking them down, looking at positioning, game sense, all that fun stuff. So today's video was submitted by it was a bronze Moira. At least they asked me to review the Moira gameplay, but instead they went as like Brigida to begin with, and then maybe a little bit of Mercy, and we're just kind of like chopping and changing it up for the first attack, and then for the defense, I believe we went full Moira. So we're going to break them both down, though, just for fun. But let's take a look at our current situation as it stands. We have these tanks, these DPS, and this is currently a question mark, but will be a Brigida. So, Hamster and Sigma. Synergy? Yes, no, kind of. They both play like main tanks and off tanks at the same time. So Hamster can be played either way. Sigma can be played either way. It's actually kind of weird to see Sigma as a main tank for me. But together, kind of interesting, actually. Kind of an interesting mix. You have Hamster kind of diving on the back line, creating chaos, and Sigma can capitalize on chaos very well. He can bring his own chaos, where he's throwing in giant rocks, or he can, you know, two-shot squishies on the floor pretty easily. So I don't hate it. I don't hate it. McCree and May, again, not bad. McCree, good for maps with long sight lines, especially like this, and high ground. So he's going to have a pretty good time. And then May, of course, has that wall, which is essentially a little bit of a map editor on cooldown, and she can just, you know, wall off escaping enemies and cause all kinds of chaos with that. So especially on the sort of the inside part of this map, Havana, which plays a lot like Gibraltar. If you think about it, the way that it starts, the middle point and the last point are very similar in nature to Gibraltar. So I know that people feel this this sentiment when I say it, but there are certain maps where you feel like it's all or nothing. It's like you can hit this momentum with your team where you stagger the enemy so hard that they just can't come back from it. I think King's Row has one, Rialto has one, Gibraltar, a lot of the escort maps, hybrids especially, but yeah, it's just this kind of like, I don't know, it's this really, really weird phenomenon where if you have a good attack, you can immediately crush the confidence of the opposing team. And this is one of those levels. Havana is definitely one of those levels. And you are attacking first, which also means that if your attack is not very good, your confidence is crushed. So worth pointing that out as well. So that being said, let's get into the actual gameplay itself here. Enough of my chatterings. And I believe we're starting with Brig. So, okay. Right off the bat, waiting for people to pick up the payload. You're kind of out on your own here, taking unnecessary damage. And did your shield break? It did. It broke. You can see the cooldown started in the bottom here. So let's talk about Brig in general, because she's definitely a misunderstood hero. A lot of people just have no idea how to play Brig at all. And I don't blame them, because she got changed quite significantly after the Goats meta was over. And yeah, she's in a weird spot right now. She still puts out a fuck ton of healing. At least it's almost like hidden healing. You don't notice it. It kind of creeps up on you just by doing a lot of damage. You're actually healing the crap out of everybody. But yeah, positioning is pretty important with Brig because she does kind of play like a little bit of a mini tank. She does. She can create space. She can scare the enemy. She can bash just so many things and make problems all over the place with her shield bash. And the important part about her shield bash is that you have to have a shield. So if your shield's on cooldown, when something crazy happens, you're going to really regret not having that shield available. That shield can also stop things like sleep darts and hooks and all kinds of nasty CC that's coming your way. So realistically, never let your shield break. Like, if you can help it, drop it before it breaks, and that way it will never have to go on cooldown, at least not as bad as the current one. It's the same principle as Reinhardt. She plays a lot like a mini Reinhardt, but yeah, just don't let it break all the way, otherwise the cooldown starts and it sucks. So quick fix. This is where you want to be as Brigitte, by the way. When you were ahead a little bit there, I know you were just kind of waiting for the match to get started, and that's fine, but you do want to play close to the payload, and with your team specifically. So okay, so again, as if on cue, there's your team. The majority of your team anyway, Sigma, Mei, Moira, right? Sigma and Mei are a little bit low on health. Moira's there, so that's fine. They are also getting healing from the payload, and being in proximity to the payload does give you healing. You are all the way out here, and whilst I don't hate the idea of a flanking Brigitte, I don't think you know enough about their composition yet, and I also don't think that, like, in the initial stages of a fight, you should be doing anything but sticking with your team. Your value, almost all of it entirely, comes from being with your team. Your Inspire, which is her passive. Your Inspire heals yourself for 11 hit points and your allies for 21 hit points per second, and it lasts for 6 seconds. And all you have to do to trigger it is hit something. So with the flail or the whip shot, you can't bash. You have to actually hit them with the mace. But when you hit them, you trigger that Inspire, and then every person you hit after that, it resets the countdown. So you have 6 seconds to hit somebody else and then keep the healing party going. If you can consistently trigger Inspire and basically give it close to 100% uptime, at least while you're in a fight, that is maximum value with Brigitte. That's the best thing you can possibly do, is just keep Inspire activated and stay close to your team. There are times when flanking to take out a support or something is called for, but normally it's a closer flank. It's a soft flank, they call it. A soft flank is when you kind of like instead of coming all the way around here, you would have maybe like dipped in here, gone on the inside a little bit, and then tried to bash somebody there. That's a soft flank. This is a hard flank. You just went the fuck away from your team and now presently have no value to them at all, except for the potential to maybe hit them with a health pack from a distance. So yeah, so this is a bad idea. Let's see how it plays out. Okay, good heal packs. Your heal packs come up pretty late. Okay, so we had a couple choices here, didn't we? I mean, looking at this, if we rewind it back, there's a certain point, I think, where you had 3 choices right here. Right, yeah, right here. You have 3 choices, right? So knowing as well, and again, we say it a lot, but the kill feed is free information. Knowing that the Junkrat is gone, spam damage, or at least some of the spam damage, is now gone completely. So you don't have to worry about spam damage as much. You have 3 options. You can get the fuck on the payload with your team, which is where you should go. You can maybe do a little flank here, as we discussed before. You do know that there are enemy team members behind these walls, and you could potentially cause some chaos from the side there. Or you could go on an even harder flank and just go straight out here and see what you can get. You may see somebody up high. You may see like a Mercy in the back somewhere. There's a lot of value that could potentially be gained from going this way as well. So you did have 3 options available to you. It looks like you chose door number 2. So let's see exactly what comes of that. But I would like to point out these little forks in the road that show up sometimes, especially on a playback, where you can kind of see, like, you know, I could have done 3 potential paths here that would have led to either a team fight victory or not. Did I make the right call? This is one of those moments. So just, it's good to recognize it, because then when you're in it, it's easier to recognize it. So you opt for this off flank here, and you just start wailing on them, and then don't commit. So you kind of You go, you go up here. You look like you're gonna. I think it's maybe the turret scared you away a little bit, and I would be scared too. Those turrets suck. It looks like you kind of bashed it a little bit here, and then you whip shot the brig. You should kind of just be wailing at this point, right? You should just be wailing on this turret, wailing on this diva, trying to hit as many things as you possibly can. Remembering that it triggers your inspire, and just I would just be wailing since you're here anyway. But you kind of don't. You kind of just fade back, throw out a health pack, which is good. Your McCree appreciates it for sure. And then now you're kind of where you're supposed to be playing. So yeah, that was interesting. It was kind of like a half-hearted flank that you did not see through. I would say if you're gonna do it, really do it, like commit to it, and at least try and take somebody down. That was just kind of like it didn't really do much of anything, so it was little value to your team. So yeah, that whole thing could have been avoided just by pushing up with your team and potentially just trying to bully these tanks a little bit. So okay, this is the normal sort of stalemate, playing either side of the payload until someone does something stupid. Quote me on it. All right, so yeah, perfect example, right? Reinhardt got itchy feet. He's like, I haven't charged in at least 30 seconds, so, you know, I gotta do it, man. And then, yeah, just charges right into your entire team, doesn't hit anybody, Reinhardt, and ends up at your spawn door. So I do hope that you kick the shit out of him. This is what we call punishing mistakes. This Reinhardt made a very big mistake. It is time to punish it. Do not let him get away with it. You can easily bully this Reinhardt just by bashing him and just kind of whipping into him. Plus the rest of your team's here, so they can also lay into him a little bit too. But yeah, this should be easy pickings. And it is. Good. Okay. Good awareness on the health packs. Okay, nice. Confirming the kill on the diva. You're really good at cleaning up baby divas because they're so annoying and slippery. So you can just bash them, keep them in place. Lots of ults going off. Okay, so let's take a look at how this unfolded here. So at this point, the Junkrat's dead quite a while ago now, so he's probably on his way back a little bit. Reinhardt just died like not too long ago, and Diva as well, so tanks are gone. So frontline gone. You still have your DPS. McCree is here. I don't know where your May is currently. You have your Sigma still pushing the front here. You have your Moira, who is coalescing, although if she goes backwards much more, she's going to have a rough time. Looks like she's just trying to take out this turret right now. And then you have a very angry Torbjorn there, and maybe something going on back here by the looks of it. So just taking stock of it here for a second. You guys are not doing terrible, right? Both your healers are here. You guys are here. You're still kind of far away from your team. I would like to see you closer, like right up on the payload here. Getting the benefits of the payload. The payload heals you. So get the benefits of that. But yeah, you should win this fight. Absolutely. Nice. Oh, that sucks. You tried. Maybe could have preemptively hit that health pack out there. Sometimes when you know that there's potential for danger, especially with a Moira that's like really close to all, and I honestly don't know if you would have kept her alive even if you burst her with all three, but yeah, maybe preemptively hit, or if you see a Moira or anyone on your team ulting, repair pack him up. Like if you have a Reaper on your team and he starts ulting, repair pack him immediately. Like if you're McCree, you know, I want you to repair pack him as soon as he ults, so he has that extra protection just in case, because you want to make sure that you can enable other people. You're an enabler as a support. You're especially an enabler as Brig. Your peel potential is insane. You can peel for anybody. So you should be keeping your Moira alive and your McCree alive, especially your McCree actually, because your McCree has high damage output but low self-sustain. So if you just kind of like say, hey McCree, you're going to be my buddy for this entire game, you could help him do so much work. So that's something that I would keep in my back pocket as well. Just keep in mind that your McCree is kind of a glass cannon and you are not glass. Okay, double bash. So Junkrat's already back and spamming. You did nail the Brigitte here. Junkrat's already back and spamming. I thought I saw another healer in the back. Yeah, your Moira is... their Moira, sorry, is way back there doing stuff. I don't know what she's doing. Break goes down. Your Mei has... I don't know what your Mei's doing. Your McCree is flanking. Now he's the guy that's supposed to be doing that. I know it's just cleanup time. You're creating space, which is good. Chasing your Sigma. Why is this Torbjorn still alive? I'm not saying this is your fault, but like the rest of your team even. Like, how has this Torbjorn been allowed to live this entire time? Because is he not getting attacked by your Mei there as well? How the fuck did he survive that? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that Torbjorn's still alive, but he should not be. At this point, you should obviously have kind of noticed you're getting to your rally. I would pop it immediately. I think you have a momentum right now that if you lose it, you can easily get super tilted and staggered here. So we'll see what happens. I'd pop it now. And then just beat the crap out of everybody. Okay. It's okay. I was like, why did you not bash this diva? But I can see you were on a cooldown. That's why. You can whip her, by the way. Whip shot, well, if you whip shot a diva, you'll kind of change her directory coming in. Her direction coming in. So that can sometimes be helpful, just to kind of have a little bit more survivability against that. But, you know, getting dove by a diva when you have bash off cooldown is just a thing that will happen. So not too terrible. You do press tab here though, so I want to see what happens when you press tab. Okay. So I do like that you pressed tab when you died. Very good to take stock. You did also request healing from your Moira when you were low. A little too late, I'm afraid. But, you know, good that you're taking stock here. What you should be looking at right now, and I know what you are looking at, by the way, when you press tab during this game, your eyes immediately were drawn here, and you thought, why the fuck isn't anyone else killing anything? Because that's typically how people that see that will feel, especially when there's support characters. Bearing in mind here that this is just like stuff that you may have just got the final blow on because you happen to be there. What you should be looking at is this. And if you're on comms with your team, and I don't know if you are, I'm listening to this in silence, but if you're on comms with your team, that's a pretty slick, two ults there that you can combine in a very, very cool way. Quite literally, Sigma can lift people up, so McCree can just like high noon on them. So there's two things that would need to happen for that to be successful though, right? Number one, McCree would have to be protected to some extent. And number two, they do have a Reinhardt who can just put his shield up and block the majority of it. So you have two goals right now. One is protect McCree, make sure you protect him. Two is make this Rhine lose his shield, or at least try and break it or bash him out of it or something, so he cannot protect from this high noon. One or either of those things for you to be doing right now would be super useful for your team. But again, a lot of that just comes with communication, which I don't know how much of that you had going on. So, but you know, in a higher tier game, that should be a discussion that happens. Okay, so you're a little staggered from your team. They're critical. This is where stuff gets super messy in games sometimes, you know, because this is a situation where everyone should be grouped up, and we can see the Hammond, and this is also bothersome, the Hammond calling for a group up whilst in the middle of fucking nowhere. But yeah, these folk, like, you guys need to be sticking together here. You're no one's getting value from your healing while you're dead. So, you know, making sure that your weaker teammates survive is kind of your prime directive while you're trying to push this. So now, yeah, 100% group, right? This Hammond can just fuck off for now. You need to stop what you're doing and group up with your team immediately. I would be backing into spawn practically. I'm by the door. Yeah. So You played it pretty safe here. This was good. You waited. Your hamster needs heals, obviously, but you kind of waited for your Sigma and some other folks to move forward with you before continuing, so good job. You should engage with Rally here, 100%. I like that you let them know you had Rally. Should already have pressed it, though. Like, Rally is, if you're ever in a situation where your tanks are not being aggressive when you want them to be, which is a lot in these elos. Like, there's a lot of dancing around the choke or not being kind of as aggressive as people need to be. And you have certain ults which sound like a rallying cry. This one quite literally is a rallying cry, but this one, Coalescence, Mercy's Valkyrie, they're ults that when they're pulled by the support team, cause them to say a voice line, which to a tank's head translates to, oh shit, we should do something. Like, we should move, we should swing our hammer or whatever it is. And it's this kind of like this intense moment where you pulling your ult forces everybody else to be aggressive. And in situations like this, in a bronze game where you may not be playing with people that have good game sense or whatever it might be, that's holding them back, you can be the difference maker there by forcing people to get aggressive. Because if you pull your rally, immediately everyone should be like, oh shit, let's go. You know, let's do stuff. You may find that some other ults get pulled. Your Sigma might feel like it's time to, you know, lift people up. Wouldn't be a great idea with the amount of shields on screen right now, but you can use it quite literally to force tanks to be aggressive. So think about that. And I would have pulled it already by now. Way to keep your May up. Nice bash. There you go. Okay. So you're playing close to your team. You have rally. This is good. This is all good stuff. Right here. What would have been a good move? Right? You wail on him a little bit. You have rally, so you're basically indestructible at this point. Your Rhine is here, like right here. Oh man, it's so juicy. I can't believe you didn't go for it. Shield bash, right? You shield bash him. You're so close. You shield bash him and then like whip him into the wall or something. So you're like, think about what would have happened here. I want you to observe what happens next. Shatter, right? He started the animation as you were like tentatively this close to him. Right here. So if within that close proximity you had immediately thought about bashing, which you should when you're close to any tank, just bash them and immediately stuns them, you would have caused him to lose his ult here, which would have been huge. Would have been huge. Reinhardt's build ult fast, so yeah, if you would have bashed there whilst you were that close, you would have caused him to lose his shatter, which looks like it took your Moira out. You did bash eventually here, but again, it's a little bit too late. Okay. And let's take a quick look at your tab again. By the way, you should press this more often. You're only pressing it when you die. Press it just to see sometimes if the enemy has switched players, to see what ults you have, which by the way, you still have this combo, which should have been used by now. Again, not your fault. I'm not blaming you for this, but it should have been used by now by these two. People are waiting for play of the games in bronze. McCree just wants a 6K, and that's fine. To some extent, but holding on to your ult like this is unnecessary, especially for so long. Your Moira is almost ready to go as well, so she'd be able to follow up pretty well on anything Sigma puts up. You still have gold elims, which is interesting. So it looks like you're going to switch here. We got Ana. I would love to know why Ana specifically. And I don't say that meanly at all. I'm genuine. Like, I switch to Ana sometimes, but I almost always have a purpose for it. Like, I will be like, okay, this Roadhog's been given a shit. I'm going to anti him so he can't use his breather. Like, there's certain reasons why switching to Ana works, and there's certain reasons why it doesn't. I'm curious as to your reason here for switching to Ana. So maybe if you're watching this, you can put in the comments the main idea for the switch. Team is dying. Stay here. I mean, realistically here, you don't want to push too far ahead because you're easily going to get staggered. You're Ana, who's like the weakest of all healers. You want to really kind of get behind cover or something around here, or just stay put and wait for your team. You could potentially at least try and heal some folks here, but honestly, it's better they die and you group than staggering them out by keeping them alive. It's kind of the same principle as like when a Mercy reses the last person to die, or like the second from last person to die, I guess, in a team fight. It's just like, there's no point. It's a waste of time to keep them alive. Better to let them die and group and attack as 6 than continuously keep trickling in like this. So you see you guys have been fighting them 2v4, 2v5. That's why it's so one-sided right now, because it's just... And there's not a lot you can do about it, honestly, unless you're in comms and you can convince everyone somehow. You're kind of stuck. Okay, so you do opt to try and sustain here. At very least, we could take out this turret maybe, so that'd be useful. Good job. May's dead though. Okay, you really are super out of position here. So, as a support, you're almost always playing a game of hide and seek, especially as Ana. As Ana, like, you really don't want the enemy to even know where you are. You do the same amount of healing, whether you're stood exactly behind Sigma or whether you're like a mile back. So, realistically, you do not want the enemy to know where you are. Your sight lines are fine. You can get good sight lines by being far back here. This is a really long road here, but look how many places you can get capped from. You got all this entire balcony area up here, all the lower area down here. There could be someone flanking around here. There could be someone flanking from out of here, not to mention whatever is around this corner, right? There's just so many things that can kill you. This entire area is looking here, right? And you're just out in the middle of nowhere drinking your tea or whatever Ana does. And yeah, not a good time. You need to be in cover here. You either need to be hidden like behind here or something, like behind this wall shooting across, or right up on your Sigma, like behind here and just like shooting him, or way back, way back there, but not where you are. That's definitely inviting random spam and bullets to take you out. It's good nade though. Nice nade. Okay. So I could see the sleep gun coming up. I'm excited to see if you nail this. So yeah, you did notice that. That's good. That's good awareness. You saw the tiny bit of red there, and that was enough to pique your interest where you attempted to sleep. Did you do it? No. It was a good attempt though. I'll give you that. But the person isn't really moving. You could have probably hit it from this corner. You would have nailed him. All right, interesting. Okay. Again, so far out of position. You're not even looking at the enemy right now. Like, you're so fixated on this situation that you have just turned your entire side to this situation up here, which is also wrecking your Moira, by the way. She is critical and not healing herself currently. This guy is like half health. Your attention should not be here. Call this out to somebody else, or just move the fuck away from it and just kind of keep an angle on your team. Don't get tunnel visioned into this. That's the worst possible thing you could do right now. And I like that you're like that you noticed it. Don't get me wrong, I like that you noticed it. I just think that is not your job. Trying to keep your Moira up, that's good. Just random spam coming in. You could probably sleep this diva. Oh, I don't know if you hit that or not, actually. Oh, okay. So, again, this should be punished so hard. There's no... I don't know how he's alive to begin with. Also, that he managed to set up a turret. So you're in trouble big time. You need to just get the fuck out at this point. You heal yourself. Okay, now you're in a one-on-one with Torbjorn, you have no cooldowns available, and you're essentially dead. Ring around the rosy. Do you win this? No. Oh my god, that was so clutch. That was so clutch, dude. Oh man, that was awesome. So I honestly, I would have given up there. I would have just assumed I was gonna die probably, but no, you kited him and took him the fuck out. Well done. Good shit. The rest of your team's gonna die or is dead by the looks of it, but hey, that was sick. McCree's still hanging on to that high noon, baby. That big 6K, it's coming. Looks like your Sigma used ult when we weren't even looking. And your hamster is now a Reinhardt, so that's good. Your May is now a Junkrat. And you have opted for Mercy. So let's see how it goes. All right, so this is as close to grouping up as your team has gotten this entire match, by the way. Yeah, now more than ever, it's important just to keep those crits up. I don't know what kind of healing your Moira is doing, but it ain't a lot. McCree's already down. You do have res available. That wasn't bad. That was a good move. Try and res this. Well done, using the payload for cover. That was good. Good example of using the payload for cover for res, or anything for cover for res, and moving while you're doing it. Yeah, this is good. I like this. You're shutting off angles. I maybe would have tucked a little further in. Like, I know it's not, it's like a small detail, right? But thinking about it, there is still some leeway here for you, or even over the payload for you to get shot at. So if you'd have just pulled around here a little bit with your Moira, not only would you have a Moira, although she's not healing a whole bunch, but you would have had a little bit of more cover if you would have utilized the front of the payload a little bit more here for the res. So, small detail, but they all add up. Power boosting is good. And try and keep your Moira up. Your Reinhardt is good. Mercy has definitely been more effective for you than the other two supports so far. Ryan goes YOLO. Don't chase him. Okay, good. Yeah. Go help your McCree. I know he's still holding on to that sweet, sweet ult, but right here, as you kind of see, he's about to, like, this is like the moment before McCree does something really dumb, right? So he's coming down here since he didn't get his 6K, and he's going to engage with these folks here, which we know is the most likely return point for anyone. I would Guardian Angel over there, use this wall for cover, and either boost or heal him around that corner, because he is likely going to fuck up and die here. But we'll see. Okay. Breakdown. McCree managed to survive. You guys got the card in. Good stuff. Yeah. Now you just want to push up and stagger at this point. Like, you guys are doing okay, but that Reinhardt should already be dead. Like, you really need to jump on these small moments and be hyper aggressive, essentially. Like, if you get 1 or 2 picks, you should be like smelling blood in the water as a shark. You need to just completely collapse on a team when you get that momentum, because that's what's going to carry you forward and stagger out the kills. I do see someone has taken high ground on you here, though, which is interesting. We'll see how that plays out here in a second. Oh, it's Torb, of course. Puts his turret on the payload. God, I love Torbjorn. Okay, well. So your Reinhardt and Junk got a little bit too crazy there. I don't even know how they died so fast. I guess they didn't see how many people were there. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Like, literally, they went from being, like, pretty okay right about here to pretty fucked up right about here. So that's because Moira ults into them. So, because you're sort of paying attention to the Torbjorn over here and moved away from these guys, they're about to fall. and then they do fall. It's not terrible. You guys just cap second, so you know it doesn't really matter. You're going to spawn here in a second anyway, and they're wasting ults by using them right by your spawn door, but still could have potentially helped in that situation. Don't go for the res. That's why. Yeah, you were never going to make that res, and if you did anyway, that person would probably have died shortly after you did. McCree's still holding on to this ult, baby. And then your Sigma also has his ult, so he can combine maybe this time with McCree if he decides to let it go. Same for your Moira with Coalescence here. Half your team is dead. Worth pointing that out. You did get the Torbjorn, but half your team is dead, so it's time to group up on the payload. All little excursions need to be over, and now it's a case of retaking ownership of the payload. Also worth noting, you no longer have the most eliminations, so when you went Mercy and stopped trying to kill stuff, it looked like your team kind of was able to do a little bit more work, so that's something to bear in mind. Okay, so you guys really need to group. Another type of group where you say group up and then like run out. Your Reinhardt immediately goes for the kill on the Moira. Epic. All right, yeah. This is just perfect. This is exactly. I mean, your angle's a little fucky. Your positioning's a little fucky, but how did you only get a brig with that? Yeah, I mean, your positioning's a little fucky here. You know that though, right? I mean, you can see that you're out in the open. I know you're uncontested here, but as you start to rise up in the ranks, you're going to start to notice more and more people are going to be taking pot shots at you from off angles. So here, we already know that a tiny bit earlier, right before you guys died, there was a lot of chaos going on around here. We can see that the majority has now congregated over on the payload, but if you're kind of facing this angle, this cone here, cone of influence, here, you're not paying attention to this. So there could be a Zenyatta, an Ana, anything back here that would just shut you down immediately. And as Mercy, you are the #1 thing to kill on your team currently. But you get away with it, just because no one punishes you. Tire doesn't get much, but it does get bricks, so that's better than nothing. Yeah, lots of pressure on the shield. Finally gets the Reinhardt, your Moira ults. Not sure the why, to be honest. You guys had that fight. Yeah, your Junkrat's carrying pretty hard right now. McCree's going for the 6K. Oh no! Oh no, McCree. You're never gonna get it, buddy. Okay. Yeah, you need to move. Do you Altair or not? What would I do? I think I would. I think I'd Altair. I might wait until Soldier is dethroned a little bit. I'd be a little nervous that he was going to immediately take me out. But yeah, I think you're at a pretty big crossroads here. Now, you guys do have the advantage. Remember, kill feed, free information. You guys can see you guys have the advantage here. So you don't really need to ult. But as we've discussed before with Mercy's ult, it's a win more ult. So it's if you're winning, you may as well win more and guarantee yourself the victory. This choke is a bitch to get through if the enemy team gets set up right. You have a couple ults that are online here. Your tanks are calling them out. You do have this annoying ass soldier up here, and I think this is your Moira. She's pretty low. I think I would push up here and then wait to see soldier show up before potentially ulting if the enemy was contesting. So let's find out. So Pfizer killed both healers. That was just a positioning issue. I mean, he was high ground. Your tanks had pushed a little bit too far forward to the point where he was able to get over their shield. Not a lot you can do about that. So you guys need to group again, reset here. You can see someone's crit already. The soldier's dead, so that's good. Yeah, you can res this. Good res. Good cover. Yeah, you guys need to press this advantage big time. Your Reinhardt's got the right idea. All good. Good. Ooh, nice heals. Okay. I know I'd hold ult here. I wouldn't use it. I'd hold it because you guys are winning fair and square. This, I might use it when this Torbjorn. Yeah, so I think I might use it here. Just because we can see they have a couple of folks that are coming back into the fight here, and the Torb just ulted onto the payload-ish area. So I think I would pull it here for the extra sustain against these folks, and then in case these guys are getting burned down too fast from this lava, you opt to use it here. It's pretty good. I like the damage boosting and not just relying on healing. You help your team clean up. That was a great ult. Great usage. Did McCree finally use Deadeye? I thought I saw a Deadeye thing in the thing here. Oh, he did. No, I didn't get a 6K though. He only got a 1. Oh well. Seems like it was worth holding it for all that time, huh, McCree? Oh, you died immediately after too. Yeah, nice cleanup here. Decent res. Good stuff. So your Rhine is pushing up a little bit here, creating space. They do have a Pharah by the looks of it now. So that's going to be a problem for you. You need to be on your toes and utilizing cover big time. Put your pistol away. You're not doing anything. You're just, no, just put it away. Your pistol is to be used in very extreme circumstances. You're kind of putting yourself out of position here. That's interesting. So we know here, right, one of the most problematic areas for a squishy is this here. There's usually a Widow or something nasty up here. I don't think that, like my ponytail, I don't think they have a Widow. You haven't pressed tab in like a while, so I don't know for sure. But this is a danger point for you. You should always be looking up here, always be looking in here, up here. These are the types of places your eyes should naturally be drawn to when thinking about positioning, right? Because these are where your threats are from. Where can people kill me from? Well, they can kill me from here. They can kill me from here. They can kill me from here, from here, from here, and from here. There's a lot of places that people can kill me from. So where would be the safest place? Since we can see there's nobody up here, I think the safest place for you is right about here. Right? Maybe here, behind the wall. Either way, behind something, and closer to your team. You actually are moving away from your team, which is I know you have Guardian Angel and everything, but it's kind of weird. So you're going back. And you do kind of, go for this wall positioning here. But yeah, it's I would move up here, especially to help stagger out this Reinhardt. This Fair is going to be a problem. Oh man. Yeah, I don't even know what the hell happened there, but I guess you both got pinned. Or one of you got pinned and the other one got trashed. So you almost have ult again. You're tilted. Okay. By the way, I know it's kind of like, sometimes shit really sucks and I hate it. But unless you genuinely mean it, don't do that. Especially don't spam it. Because this actually makes your situation worse, okay? I know it feels good to get a little bit of it out by like spamming something like that, but if you do that more than like once or twice, and people kind of know that you're doing it sarcastically, like thanks guys, thanks for helping out, thanks, you guys are awesome, you're gonna tilt your team. When has a tilted team ever played better? Never in the history of teams has a tilted team ever played better. So your job always is to not be doing this. Don't be talking shit in the chat. Don't be spamming voice lines or text lines or whatever, because it will do nothing but make your life harder, which is just, there's no point in doing that. Why would you make your life harder when you can have such an easy life by just having a positive mental attitude? Boosting ball here. Reinhardt is hell out of position. He should be dead already. Junkrat got taken down by soldier. This is rough. Oof, man. Yeah. You know what? This isn't your fault. There's nothing you can do here. Like, there's literally nothing you can do. Because you're not playing like a Zenyatta or even a Lucio or anyone that can take advantage of the fact that Reinhardt is not shielding all these people back here, you're kind of fucked. Like, I mean, you could potentially try and come in here and help, but all eyes are on you, right? There's nothing you can do to survive here. Your whole team is getting munched. D.Va's just throwing in bombs for fun. Right on your head. Yeah. Yeah, this is bad. At this point, your whole team is tilted. You're in overtime. Your ball is still trying to 1v6 everybody. This is not good for anyone. But at least he's contesting, you know? Well, it was. Oh, it was a noble attempt. Okay. So round one complete. What did we learn? If you're playing as Brigitte, your 1v1 potential is insane. So sometimes flanking works out, but for the most part, you should be playing with your team, 100%. As we discussed, Inspire, which is your main way that you heal as Brigitte, is your passive. If you hit something with your flail or with whip shot, you trigger Inspire. It heals you for 11 hit points. It heals your allies for 21 hit points currently in this meta. And it stays for 6 seconds, even if your allies leave your cone of influence, even if they leave the area of effect, they're still going to have it for the full duration, for the full 6 seconds. So, like, ultimately, as Brigitte, you should have Inspire up all the time. It should be triggered. If there's enemies, Inspire should be triggered. It's as simple as that. That's how you become a good Brigitte. You just keep Inspire triggered the majority of the time. Well, that and the fact that her shield bash will shut down so many things. More things than, you know. Well, I'll tell you what. Here's how many things that shield bash can shut down. Are you ready? D.Va remeching. Boosting D.Va and defense matrix D.Va, counter pinning a Reinhardt that charges you. You can also redirect him, by the way, if you whip at him, and of course Shatter, which we could have blocked at the beginning. Hog's hook and his breather and whole hog, accretion and kinetic grasp for Sigma, gravitic flux. If you can hit him in the startup animation, you'll cancel that. He'll lose it. Doomfist punching, Genji deflecting, Hanzo dragons if you can get him during the startup animation, Junkrat Tiger if you can get him during the startup animation, McCree's High Noon, Blizzard during the startup animation for Mei, Farah's Barrage, if she's close enough to the ground, you can bash her out of it. Reaper's Blossom, you can bash him out of it. Sombra's Hack, Sombra's EMP. It's super hard to do, but you can bash an Ana who just did an animation for Sleep Dart. Lucio's Beat Drop is pretty predictable, and you can bash out of that. Coalescence, you can bash out of that. I mean, there's so many fucking things, but honestly, it's all reaction time and game sense. It's all a case of being like, do I know who has what on the field right now as far as ultimates and abilities and things like that? And am I close enough to shut them down should it occur? Like, the easiest way to start doing that, especially with a Brigitte, is to imagine or to try and count one DPS. So let's say they have a Reaper. You just make it your job to know when Reaper has ult or is likely to have ult. Keep an eye out for him and be ready to bash. And that's it. And that's like, and then you just start doing it with more and more people as you learn more and more what can be canceled. So you know the enemy team had a Reinhardt and a Moira, so those two things you can cancel right there. The Torb ult, I mean, you might be able to cancel a little bit of it by stunning him, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of work you can do there. So yeah. And then for your Ana, honestly, you didn't play Ana long enough for me to judge, so I'm not going to say anything. And then for Mercy, same thing. Your team started doing a lot better when you played Mercy. You were kind of forced into a position of overhealing, as it were, because I don't believe your Moira was doing a lot of healing. So because you were kind of forced to concentrate on keeping people alive, even though you got distracted quite a lot by just like backline things and stuff which shouldn't really be your problem. Your job is to keep an eye on healing and then calling out these things. You should not be trying to handle them yourself with your pistol. So with that being said, it wasn't terrible. I mean, by all means, the push was okay. You got it pretty far. It's not impossible to hold on Havana first point. So even though you guys got pretty tilted towards the end there, you shouldn't have been. It was a good push. I can see you're about to type something in the chat here. Painful. Okay. So let's see this Moira, because this is the reason why we're doing this VOD. Moira is a favorite of mine, huge Moira fan, and I know a lot of people hate Moira, so I live with it. But yeah, I'm excited to see what you can pull off with Moira. So this is fun time before the thing. Everyone's figuring out where they're going. Looks like your Bastion's going high ground with your Mercy. Okay. This is stupid. I know you have Fade, and you can just like throw an orb and back the fuck up here, but honestly, you're so important to the success of your team composition right now. As Moira, you should be playing with your tanks. As Moira, your burst healing output is nuts, so you should be playing with your tanks, and you should not be within one shot capability of the spawn door. So there's a phrase that I use on the channel sometimes. It's called respect lethality, and there's so many things that can kill you immediately in this game that you really do have to kind of keep your head on a swivel, especially when you don't know what the team composition is. So rather than kind of safely playing back and throwing an orb at a decent angle to potentially predict and get some ult charge off of it, you've opted to stand in front of the spawn door, and you're in a really, really bad spot. And you're immediately DPSing and ignoring your team. Yeah, this is... I see, I don't hate an aggressive Moira. I really don't. Like, I'm not a heal bot Moira, and I hate heal bot Moiras. I think it's fucking pointless. You're wasting half the potential of the character. But this is, like, you're so far out of your positioning. You're frontlining, which never as Moira should you be on the front line. Never. There's no excuse for it. Even when you're ulting, you should not be on the front line. And you're just... I mean, whilst I think you should just hold down this button when you're not doing anything as Moira, you're in front. So you have no idea right now how your team's doing. They're probably fine, but, you wouldn't know it because you're not even looking at them. They're behind you. And I'm amazed you didn't get punished for that, honestly. I can see you're about to. Okay, so... couple things here. So your Widow does get a nice pick on the Symmetra there, and your Hog did take down the Reinhardt. But remember here, what is so important, and the reason why full holds and things like that are possible, is because your spawn time is infinitely longer than the enemies currently, right? So anytime your characters go down, especially if it's in a sequential order, if it's not like all at once, like a collapse, if you're like a couple people killed and then 10 seconds later a couple more people killed and then 10 seconds later a couple more people killed, that is how you start to stagger, and that is how you lose badly. So not being up here with your tanks and being able to pump them full of healing, Mercy could not keep up Bastion and Orisa here. Hog is fine. Hog can Hog can self-sustain pretty good. Your Widowmaker's going to be fine. She's playing out of effective line of sight of most characters probably, and you know what? That's her job, so she's totally fine. These were the ones that really needed your assistance. This is, if you're going to go for this kind of full hold, like cheese comp with a Bastion, you have to keep the Bastion alive. Like that's 90% of the whole thing, right? So yeah, so the fact that these guys died, and your orb wasn't poorly timed, it just didn't put out enough healing, and if you were stood there, you could have. So yeah, that was pretty bad start to that. I mean, it's a valiant attempt. Mercy's gonna res, which is something. She res the Orisa. Orisa jumped down here, got into action. Okay. Let me watch that again. Sorry, I'm gonna slow it up a second. So really look at what you're doing. Like, I think it took a really long time for you to get that hog. The hog is crit here, right? So the hog was crit before when Mercy came flying in here like she does. But he was crit before, and you didn't notice it because you were DPSing this diva. And then you kind of notice it here. You still throw a purple orb. Now you're healing. Your heal on Moira is a heal over time effect as well. So short bursts is good unless they are being pushed immediately. So if he's being pushed, you just keep it held down. But he looks like he's doing okay at this point. You then spread it over to the Orisa. That's good. You kill the baby diva. Or try to. Slippery, huh? Yeah, this is going on way too long. But okay, finally you take her down. And now you're in a pretty okay spot. So here's a secret that not a lot of people know. Well, I say that. Moira is like low-key a soft counter to Pharah. Big time. Especially Pharah's like this. Your purple grasp here, your biotic grasp, is 20 feet long, 20 meters long, whatever it is. I forget which measurement this game is in. But you could totally get this Pharah. If you have a shield here, right? You have your Orisa shield here. Your hog is here too, so your hog's already like working on some angles here and probably putting in some nasty spam damage right over here. You can see the Pharah is because, like, I mean, she floats on by like for a while, so you can see her. You should try to, in my humble opinion, come around here, utilize the shield, and get your grasp on that Pharah. Take her down before she becomes a problem. Turn around, maybe throw a healing orb, like once it comes off cooldown. But yeah, I would be aggressively attacking that Pharah that's kind of out of position right now. Where are you? You're in the open doorway. So you can see they have a Symmetra, which is what this beam is. She's going to get that powered up off the shield too, so you want to stay out of that big time. But again, you're in the doorway here where you know that the enemy could have just gone left when they left spawn and they'd be facing you right now. And you're a snack to them. You're not behind a shield. I mean, it looks like some of them are here, but if one person on the enemy team went the other direction, you're dead. That is good awareness. Still dies. Yeah, definitely finish that. Nice little hop. Using Fate to escape is the correct way to use Fate. Never use it to engage, only to finish off kills. Okay, nice. That's good play. So, I mean, it took a little too long because you were staring up into the sky and there was many things that could have killed you whilst you were doing that. But you did have a little bit of a shield up here. Your Orisa did die. And actually your Widow finished off the Pharah. Yeah, finished off the Pharah. But Yeah, I mean, you actually used your abilities to take down the biggest problem there. It sucks that the Orisa died, but it was the right idea. Maybe more so inside cover would have been better. Like actually playing around like this area here, closer to a wall potentially. So that's alt charge for you, which is good because you need it. Nice taking the health pack. Yeah, you really need to back up here and let it breathe. Okay, so right here, you're at the front of your team. You're 97% to ult, which means you're going to be able to re-engage. This area now belongs to the enemy team. Everything in front of this is what you have to protect. Payload only goes to, what is it, around like here, right? Maybe a little further in. So your Mercy's up there. I don't know what she's doing. And yeah, so you need to back up here. You need to back away and group up with your team and allow them to push the payload. It's okay. Like, people freak out if the payload moves like 1 or 2 meters further than they want it to. But like, honestly, your best option here, you're either going to die to this Brigida or you're going to back up and recontest as a group and with your ult, which is the important part to remember here. So if you could back up around this corner, and I mean way around the corner, don't peek or anything, you group up with your team, you all go in together, utilizing the shields and the other bits and pieces, and then you'll have ult, and you can pop ult and try and make a difference. Try and take out one of the healers or something. It is far better for you to stop that cart here than it is to stop it here. Because this gives you a more advantageous position on where the enemy is coming from. So the right play here would be to back out, either in here or preferably backwards, because that's likely where your team's coming from, and then recontest with them. Let's see what you do. Your hog should do the same thing, by the way. Oh, I lied. I guess that wasn't the Mercy up there, because Mercy's behind you guys. I don't know what the hell. Who was that? Oh, it was Widow. My bad. Yeah, Widow just caught the business end of a purple orb, as did the enemy's Symmetra, so that's good. I like that you're just holding that button down, honestly. A lot of people will give you shit for that. Like as saying you're a DPS Moira or whatever. You have an okay balance. Your reaction time's been a little slow. Like, I feel like you're kind of healing the enemy sometimes and using purple on your own team. But yeah, I mean, when you're not doing anything, honestly, holding this down is totally fine because you're just going to get free resources for it. Your healing resource fills up as you damage people. It's about 1 second of damage that will give you about 12% of your resource back. So holding it down just kind of eternally and trying to get a little bit of squeeze a little bit of resource out of everything is a good plan. Purple orbs will get your ult up. You are pretty close to it anyway, though, and here's something to try and keep in mind as a Moira. Couple things, actually. The first thing I would say is once you have your ult, stop throwing purple orbs. It's that simple. You can still, you don't get resource for using purple orbs, you only get ult charge and damage. It's chip damage, so it's, you know, it's trash damage. The healers are just, the enemy healers are going to get ult charge off of that. So if you're just like pecking away but not really like killing anybody, then the enemy healers are going to consistently heal up those tiny little chips, and they're going to build their ult fast enough to maybe negate some of your ults. So that's something to keep in mind. Once your ultimate is available to you, you don't need to use the purple orbs to charge it anymore. Therefore, the value of those orbs goes down, and you should just use healing orbs all the time as soon as this is available. Now, I will also say using your ult off cooldown with Moira is totally fine as well. Like, I firmly believe that Moira's ult is disposable and it's really easy to charge. So if you can get a pick or two out of it, absolutely use it. You should be You should be starting the ult by throwing out a damage orb, though. That is the one time I would say it's okay to throw a damage orb, is at the start of the ult, because that gives you an additional amount of damage whilst you're pulling your ult. Okay, so this would be a perfect time for a recon test here. You guys are pretty close. The Orissa's kind of set up shop here, but you guys are pretty close here. You're like 1.38 meters away, so I'm a little worried you're not going to make it. The Widow is dead and gone, and your Junkrat just died. So now you have 2 tanks. Orissa's pretty hard to kill, but they only have the Diva and the Brigida here, and maybe 1 or 2 others around the back. But yeah, I would say pull ult here. Aim it right about here, keep your tanks alive, and make sure they can contest, and maybe try and angle yourself, like work your way around so that your ult, your cone of influence on the ult, is heading this way. That way you'll be behind your Orisa, healing them up and damaging the enemy at the same time. Also be very aware that Brigida can stun you out of your ult. Stay the fuck away from her while you're ulting. Taking a little too long here, yeah. So if you were ulting by now, not only would your team have a lot more sustain than the amount they're getting from your regular healing, but you probably could have flicked it to that, that turret as well that the Symmetra is using. Again, no need for the damage orb there, right? I mean, you're doing basically nothing to the enemy with that orb. And look, if that was a healing orb as it went past here, your Mercy would be full health, your Orisa would be full health. You then fade aggressively. Not good. And wow, yeah. That was an aggressive fade, and putting you completely out of position. Like, you were in a relatively good spot before. Now you have everyone's attention because you started ulting, but you are kind of too close to this Brigida. These guys are like, he might just straight up charge your ass. We'll see how it goes. I do like that you're kind of ducking and diving here. They do take point, and you immediately start building ult charge, but your team needs to back up. You guys need to get the hell back. This is, again, not useful. This is not you. This is your this fella. Help me, Moira. What the fuck? I mean, you tried. Admittedly, it wasn't the best attempt, but you did try. So yeah, again, all that is going to do is tilt people. It's terrible, terrible behavior. That was preventable. I think you'd agree with that. Your Roadhog needs to back up. You're so far out of position right now. Like, take stock of where you're at right now. You have a Reinhardt, a hella aggressive Reinhardt, who probably has Shatter, who got really good sightlines on you. Your Doomfist just died. You have this crazy fuck, and then the entire enemy team around this corner. You should be backing up. You should be running away, frankly, to regroup with your Orisa. Okay. Better. Playing this angle is the best. You're kind of far ahead here when you were messing around here for a little while. There's so many things that could kill you here, right here in this frame. Look at all those. Any stray shot. You got knocked down to like 70 something health, but you need to be all the way up here. It sucks that that sim shield is there. Play around this corner. Use natural cover when you can. Oh, okay. Yeah, even I didn't see that one coming. So yeah, I don't have sound on, but I'm pretty confident that you would have heard a Pharah boosting around if you had headphones on or whatever. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Like the enemy DPS largely is just looking for an opportunity to do something like this, right? So thinking about it, they just kept first point. You got a pretty good fight in a couple times, especially the tanks should be 100% on ult by now on the enemy team. Both of the DPS just use their ults, your Symmetra and their Pharah. So do count that the DPS are out their ults, but D.Va hasn't used Bomb. Reinhardt hasn't used Shatter. There's a lot more common. But yeah, that was not a lot you can do about that other than potentially fading in time. I think she was right on you, though. She looks like she aimed that at you. Okay, definitely don't go in. You have nothing to gain. Like, I know you think, like, I have to stop the payload. It's like an urge, right? You have to stop it. But I don't know what the hell is going on over here, frankly. I have no idea. Your Junkrat should have stayed high ground and just spammed the shit down on them from behind. And you need to not be there. You should be recontesting with your tanks. Moira is amazing at keeping tanks up. Just by throwing healing orbs and blasting them with healing, and then also being able to lay in that additional damage that tanks usually need to finish a kill. So you should be waiting for your tanks. Looks like they're going to contest, so this is okay. This is okay. This is where you want to make your stand. Although, yeah, I think high ground would have been too dangerous, honestly. I think I would be playing it a little bit safer though, either in here or like close to this a little bit. The whole team can see you and Mercy. There is an Orisa and a shield in the way, but you know, you still might want to duck out a little bit because they're going to be coming for you. I mean, think about it. If you were on this team and you were staring at one Orisa that was backed up by two healers, are you going to try and kill the Orisa? No. You're going to try and kill the healers. Good. Good positioning. Great. That's stupid. Oh, fuck off. You don't need healing at all. Shut up, Orisa. Okay. Not a battle, but shut down pretty unfortunately there. I think I would have ulted, honestly. I think I would have ulted there. The thing to bear in mind with a Moira ult as well is who you want to kill first. Like, you got the Sim there, which was pretty high value. Symmetras can be really problematic in late stage fights. And your soldiers flanking apparently is working out too, so he just killed a D.Va. So you got to kind of think, you know, where am I going to get a quick kill? You got a pretty good kill there on the Sim, but yeah, I think you just got unlucky here, honestly. You just got hit by a direct and there's nothing you can do about it. But it was the right idea. Throw out an orb though before you do that, just in future. Like, always throw a damage orb first. Yeah, I mean, you got res, so that's nice. Your tanks are going hell for leather there. Your Roadhog just killed their main healer. The biggest problem right now is their Pharah. And you can see her, right? She's right here. If you held this hand out, you'd have already killed her by now. So, you need to deal with this Pharah. Your Mercy can't deal with her. Your Orisa probably can't deal with her, especially with a Reinhardt. Your Roadhog potentially could deal with her, but I don't know where he is right now. He just killed Moira somewhere. And then your soldier can definitely deal with her, but he's on a weird flank. So, kind of on you right now to deal with the Pharah. Don't chase. You throw an orb in there, he's good. Good. So swap up your hands more. Like, you feel it's almost like you can only do one thing like that was really good use of swapping up. So when you're playing Moira, there's kind of like this ebb and flow I was talking about, where you kind of just like you use your purple hand for a little bit, then you swap to your Healy hand, then use your purple hand. Baptiste plays similarly to that too, like whereas he'll use his rifle sometimes and his grenade launcher the other times. You're kind of doing a similar thing. So yeah, try and do that more often. The same way that like a Lucio switches up between speed and healing in the higher ranks, you should be switching up between healing and death dealing. Good stuff. Oh, Diva Bomb coming in. Nice time fade. Nice orb. Good placement. Good on taking the turrets out. That was just unlucky, honestly. Got rest anyway. Heals. Yep. Your positioning is a little funky, but honestly, it's not bad. Your team is winning the fight, so this is good. This is all good Moira play. Now you're distracted, though. Stay with your team. There's no reason for you to be up here peeking. That's why. Let's review that for a second. You did make it out alive, so congrats on that. But yeah, there's no reason for you to be frontline. There's no reason for you to be here. But look how quickly you went from, oh, me and Junkrat got this, homie, to shit, there's the entire enemy fucking team and I just got bashed in the face, right? Okay. Yeah, this is bad news, Bears. That Rhine has Shatter. They're using Rally, I think. Hard to tell the sound off. Diva is also a pretty hard counter to Moira, by the way. I mean, only if they eat the orbs, but it's something to bear in mind. Oof, there's that Shatter. So we could probably tell by how aggressive Reinhardt was playing that he had Shatter, right? And so if you're on, I know you're not really like on comms because you're typing and stuff, but yeah, I mean, at very least your positioning is good. If you had communication lines open, which probably would be a mess by now, honestly, just because of how tilted everyone is, you would call that out. You would just say, hey, looks like Ryan has Shatter, because you can tell when a Ryan has Shatter, they play very differently. You're doing your best here, but I feel like you're going to get overwhelmed pretty quickly here. So, real quick, your healing resource, before you hit your ult there, you were just holding it down like largely continuously here for this entire segment. Short bursts would help you to maintain your resources. Your resource drains so fast, like at that. So your resource, in case you didn't know where it is, yeah, hang on, I'm gonna delete this last ones. It's this thing here, right? So this bar that's currently there, this is white, this is the thing. If you didn't know, this is our healing resource. So you can actually see how much she is using. So whenever you're using your purple hand, this white bar should be filling up. And then when you're using the other one, it's dropping down. When you spray somebody, it does like a sort of a heal over time effect. So it heals them for a couple seconds. So you don't have to hold it down. I would only suggest holding it down in the face of extreme pressure. In this instance, you are pretty much surrounded. There's a ton of turrets here. I think you know their Rhine has used Shatter, and he's aggressively positioned here with low health. I think I would have thrown a healing orb towards these guys. You may have had to have pulled it faster because you still have orb on cooldown, but like a healing orb followed by her ult would be good here. And then try and position yourself around the back of the Reinhardt so you could kill him and take the turrets out and heal your teammates. So you really want to like throw a healing orb that way, like go around this way and then coalesce that way. That makes sense? And then you would have had a pretty good shot of killing the Rhine, taking out the turrets, and keeping your team alive. It still would have been a stretch, I'm not going to lie. It would have been hard, but that would have been the play, if there was a play. You should always keep an eye out for team members that are performing particularly well, and try, if you're a support, and try and enable them as much as possible. Like if you notice one of your DPS is popping off, make it your job to be their best friend, because they might carry the whole match for you if given the resources. That's interesting, Fade. I know you're in like full-on meltdown mode here, but I don't think I would have faded there. That almost looks like it was instinctual. So your Mercy's doing a decent job of keeping everyone alive. So the damage orb is fine to me. I think that's okay. And then that fade I don't like. I don't like that fade. I do like the position you end up in, because taking an off angle is always a good idea, especially with this Brigida as overextended as she is here. But now you don't have fade. If the Brigida like bashes you or whatever, you have no escape, and you're like, this is clutch or nothing, right? You really have to take them off. You cannot afford to die, and you have 50 HP and you just use your fade for no reason. Good on you for getting the health pack. Heals need to be healing orbs here once you get it off cooldown. Bounce it off walls. Also, to try and get maximum value out of orbs, try and put them at a slightly downward trajectory. So if you have like a level ground like this, and you're Moira, I'm going to give you some weird, like, hang on, let me, God knows what this is. So, okay. Don't ask. Okay, so let's just say that she's throwing orbs like Hadoukens this way. If you throw them this way, they're gonna go across, heal some people, and then fuck off into the distance. What you want to try and do is throw them at a slightly downward trajectory, because then they'll hang around for longer and they'll heal more people as they bounce and go forward. So you'll get more value out of this in an enclosed area than you would out of the top one. So if you can, aim here when you're throwing orbs. And that's like, you know, let me take that off, aim here. And that's kind of how you're going to get max value, or even here, because then you can actually get it to this tank too. But just a little side note, hopefully that's helpful. So your team is super weirdly positioned. This Brig is being allowed to live for way too long with a Junkrat present, but I don't like the positioning of your team. I think you are being forced into a bad position because of your Orisa here. It's not good for anybody. You guys are putting up a hell of a fight, though. I mean, this is now or never, right? Good shit. Clean fight. So taking stock of that, we have exactly 1 minute 40 left that we have to try and hold a very small amount of space. The enemy team is going to be spawning from here and here, and every kill that you get is going to stagger out that time limit even longer. So right now, I would probably be in front of the cart, like set up the payload in front of the cart, give it some room so it could potentially like backpedal, but you really want to be just doing your best to keep them at bay and not allow them to take control of the cart. So that would be kind of how you guys want to play this, is almost spawn camping them, but more so just trying to get stagger kills. Your Roadhog is way out of position. Yeah, that should have been a healing orb. Oh no, not like this. Yeah. Let's go back a touch there. So whilst I appreciate you trying to get your ult, I'm not entirely sure if that is what you're doing. I don't picture that the thought going through your head in times like this is, man, I gotta get my ult real fast. I mean, you might have been, but right here, your Hog is ulting. Now, when your Hog, or your Reaper, or your McCree, or any DPS really, is ulting in the manner that they need to stay alive to get full value, that is when you drop everything and pump as much resources into that person as possible. If a Reaper drops down out of nowhere, a friendly Reaper, he is immediately going to get focused if he tries to blossom. So your idea is to throw a healing orb, put your heals on him, just keep the motherfucker alive. Same thing's going to happen with Hog here. Everyone on the enemy team is looking for a way to shut him down right now, because he just killed the Reinhardt. So you should be pumping resources into keeping him alive. You're pretty close to ult anyway, and you still get ult charge for healing, so don't forget that. So yeah, this purple orb, really bad. He's crit now. Like, that has to have been a situation where you're like, oh, I wish I could take that back. Like, literally, like, a few frames after you threw it. You see that he's crit and being jumped on by a Brigida. So, yeah, that should have been a healing orb. Fade forward, dude. Your shield is up here. You can see the trajectory of the bomb, right? You see how it's... You watched it go there. So you know where this bomb is going. The trajectory is this way, right? So it's going to go, and it's going to land behind you. You have a shield here. Go in front of it. Or just around its corner. And I think it was just a panic. I can't blame you too hard for that. But on reflection, right? Go forward. All right. So you have ult. Your team is pretty low. You're fading back into the fight. Healing orb is good. Ult. Yeah. You took way too long to even think about that. So, the second that you turned the corner here and you saw crits, because the crits started there, right? And when you turn the corner, you can also see why everyone's suddenly critical. You guys have been doing well. You're getting some kills up here. But this Pharah just rained justice on your team. Here you coalesce. You coalesce and you hope to fuck that it hits them before the Pharah does. It should have been an immediate reaction. You should have been ready with it as you turn this corner. As such, you are not. You do manage to keep some people up here, but the Pharah does kill the two most important people on your team, as in the main tank and the main support. Although you could technically be the main support. And it's a lot of decision making as Moira. Do I throw healing or do I throw damage? Sometimes there is no right answer, but you can kind of tell when it worked out or worked in your favor. This is good. No. You lost this fight for your team in exactly this moment. Yeah. This sucks, dude. This is hard to watch, honestly. You have like 15 seconds left. That's it. The Pharah is still alive, so she gets murked by your Roadhog. And then for some reason, unbeknownst to me, you frontline. And I would be amazed if you don't get punished for this. So you had to have known when you dropped here that you'd fucked up, right? Your team, enemy team, also enemy team, also enemy team. This is not good. If you die here, or if anyone else dies here, this is kind of your loss. Do try and make up for it. That's a fuck ton of healing. That's a good job. Again with the damage orb, dude, you gotta stop. Like, and trust me, like I said, I'm all for damage and you're really close to your ult, so maybe that was a good call, but the way I'm looking at it right now, you need the sustain. You're less than like 2-3 seconds. Your Hog is crit and you throw damage. You see this, right? Your Mercy's trying to keep him up, but just imagine how much easier that would be. And he's ulting. So again, you pump resources into your team members when they're ulting, especially if they need it to stay alive. Your Hog falls. gets rezzed, Reaper falls on the enemy team. Immediately ult. This is good. This is a really good coalescence. Nice job. Nice. So you guys actually do take the win here. So you finally got a taste for blood. Nice job. Okay. So enough with the arguing and the worst tank I've ever seen. God, I miss PC. Okay. So yeah, so nice job. You didn't show up on the board here, which kind of sucks. You can see just by kind of looking at this how much that fur was allowed to get away with, right? And their Moira was also doing a pretty good job as well. So yeah, nice job. With the Moira stuff, honestly, like a lot of it is just kind of getting a feel for it. Your biggest problem was positioning. I think you're always kind of in a weird position. Frontlining as Moira is a huge no-no. Just don't do it. You can kill people from behind your team really easily just by holding down that button. There's a lot of people that get like burst down to like within melee range of dying and then somehow miraculously make it out. If you're holding down your purple hand whilst that is happening, then they are far less likely to make it out. You'll find yourself getting picks here, there, and everywhere. But also, you're the most important thing on your team. You're the main healer, or at least the biggest source of healing. Especially for like when you guys are getting just dumped on like you were in that round. So you need to make sure that you stay alive. You should value your life higher than anyone else's. So you stepping forward and trying to 1v6 the team or flank or whatever is always a bad idea. You should be with your team and just kind of cleaning up kills and sustaining and trying to build your ult as fast as you can and using it almost immediately. Get more value out of your ult by throwing an orb out before. Either damage or heal, doesn't matter. If you're throwing your ult for healing purposes, throw a healing orb. If you're doing it for damage, throw a damage. And you'll just get that little bit of extra boost out of your coalescence that'll help a lot. And usually that's the extra bit that you need to burn down those squishies in the back line. Yeah, you are a self-counter Pharah, don't forget it. So if there is a Pharah that's kind of playing close to you, you should make it your job to just drain her out of the sky every time she gets too close and play out of the effective range of characters like Brigitte when you are ulting. Honestly, orb consideration is one of the biggest, hardest things about Moira, is just like which orb do I throw and when. I think it's a pretty good rule of thumb to use the purple orbs until you have ult and then stop. And then just stop using purple orbs. Just tell yourself, I have ult now, I'm only going to throw healing orbs. And once you get into that mindset, not only will your healing numbers get pumped up a lot more, but you won't be giving additional ult charge to the enemy team. Very important to remember how characters gain ult charge. Moira gains ult charge by healing and by her purple orbs, but characters like, Mercy, again, they gain ult charge by healing. Lucio gains ult charge by healing. So when you do that chip damage and you're not really killing anyone, you don't really have much of a purpose to it other than to build your ult. Once you have your ult, there's no sense in doing it because then you're just going to be feeding the enemy support's ult charge. So you may as well stop. Use angles on your orbs. Bouncing them off walls is a good idea, but like I said, try and angle it down a little bit when you throw it towards your team. That will help you to keep it in play for a little bit longer, which is always good. And yeah, so there's a couple things to kind of keep your eye on. Moira is like low-key, can carry games by herself, but also she has this kind of really strenuous part about her where you always feel like you get bloodthirsty, like you start killing a couple things and then you're just like, oh my god, I need to kill more. Don't do that. Don't be the Moira that gets overtaken by rage. Heal primarily, be the good Moira, the white hat Moira, but definitely don't take that as don't damage anything. It's totally fine to kill things. Like, you should definitely utilize that aspect of her kit, but just kind of bear in mind where you are, how safe it is, how likely you are to get engaged upon, that kind of stuff. And never use Fade offensively. Never use it to engage on anybody unless you're chasing a kill like a Baby Diva or something for a stagger. Always use it defensively. If a Diva Bomb is coming over, remember, you have time to figure out where it's going to land and where you need to fade to. So sometimes fading backwards is not always the answer. Sometimes knowing the map structure and knowing where you can fade inside of a doorway or whatever is also equally as helpful. So there's a couple things to take in your back pocket. Hopefully some of it is helpful. And of course, I wish you all the best of success in your future games. So thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in and watching. Hopefully you folks learned some stuff. If not, sorry. If you did, then please feel free to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you dig it. I am also fully accepting VOD analysis requests from any bronze or silver players that are in tank or support roles. I would love you guys to donate some footage to me to make content with. Not only is it, I think, good and useful educational content for you, but also it is helpful for the people that submit the videos. So yeah, it's a win-win. So thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in, and have a lovely rest of your night.